was first brought attention to this concept a couple weeks ago in one of my psychology courses, and I really thought it would be an interesting new method to show you. It was first brought to attention in 1999. It's known as an educational reform movement that started in California and is spanning across the United States, and now it's even started to show signs in Europe. It was started by Chris Biffle, who's a philosophy professor, Jay Vanderfin, who's a third grade teacher, and then Chris Rexstad, who's a fourth grade teacher. Chris Biffle had most to do with this, and I'm going to be showing you more of his work because he has posted on his website a lot of ideas for you guys to even use in your own classroom. The goal for Power Teaching is to create a peaceful classroom with orderly fun. It's a way to get everybody into what you're teaching, for them to review the concepts you're trying to go over, and then use a lot of gestures. And it's highly structured because you're using gestures and then having them repeat it to where you can see that they're learning it. There's basics in this process. The basics are the class yes, the 5 rules, teach okay, switch, and hands and eyes. Class yes is how you get their attention. So if they're not paying attention, the teacher will say class, and then the class will repeat yes, and they'll repeat in the same tone or the same feature that the teacher used. So if the teacher says class, the students will say yes in a longer tone. There's 5 rules that you want to go over with your kids. The first rule is follow directions quickly. You make a gesture by shooting your hands forward like a fish. The second rule is raise your hand for permission to speak. To do that, you would raise your hand and then use a talking motion. There's raise your hand for permission to leave your seat. That's like the second rule. You raise your hand and then you use a walking formation. And then there's make smart choices. To do this, you really need to imply that they need to make smart choices. You want to give examples of smart choices. And when you say make smart choices, tap your tempo along with every word. Then the 5th rule is humorous because it's funny to see how the kids react to it. It's keep your dear teacher happy. To that, you frame your face, you smile, and you bob your head. The teach okay is one aspect that they really need to get to understand in order to make your lesson work with the class. The gesture for this is there's a series of claps. The teacher says teach, and then the class will repeat those same taps, and then they'll say okay. So if I would go and say teach, you guys would repeat the same series of claps, and then you would say okay. This engages the students because they will take the information you just did from the portion of your lesson, and they will teach each other. They are grouped in partners, group 1 and group 2, and then they're able to review that information using the gestures that you did when you were teaching, and they're able to teach each other. Part of the teach okay is you're going to want to say switch. This allows for the 2 groups to both have the same portion of time to do the talking and teaching to each other. So the teacher would say switch, and then the students would say switch in the same tone. It's basically like the class yes. During this, they'll take a turn, and then you can finish it off by having them regroup by saying class yes to get their attention. One of the most important aspects that you really need to know is the hands and eyes. The hands and eyes is for them to understand that you have something important that they need to understand and pay close attention to. For this, the teacher will say in a serious voice, hands and eyes, and they'll clasp their hands together. And then you want to see your students mirror that, so they'll do the same thing and you'll have their full attention. And then I have a clip to show you. This is Chris Biffle. He is showing a class of college students his method. So he's not teaching the actual lesson to students, but he's rather going over the same material I just went over, but showing you how he's doing it.
You need to turn up the volume on that speaker.
I'm going to use power teaching to teach power teaching.
Can you hear it okay?
Now when I say class, you say yes. Class? Yes. When I say class, that's how you say yes. Class, class. Yes, yes. Class, yes. Class, class.
concept he uses. The only thing he didn't use in this was the switch method, but I think it was more because he's just trying to get the main concepts across. So do you guys have any thoughts about that? Would you implement it in your own classroom? Anybody?
If you're consistent with it, I think it's good.
Yeah. The only concern I had is I don't know if I would be able to, if you would be able to keep the students' engagement, because I mean, they might get bored with it after a while, so you might only want to use it for every so many times a week, or for certain lessons if you see that certain lessons are actually helping them more with using the power teaching method. I just really thought it was really neat to engage your students more. It keeps them attuned, and I mean, you can create so many different kind of gestures in the way you're saying things to make it fun in the classroom. So that's just an option you have besides doing the regular teaching method. And if you can Google this, and there's actually student-led power teaching, so I would look at that too if you want to get more advanced in this area. And then these are just the references I use. Classroom Power is a really good one to go look at because it has so much information about this. So, any questions? No? Okay, thank you.